Fantasy football players, what's up? We got a treat for you today. Levi and I, we decided to be nice to somebody that's in our office that finally got their first win. So if you guys can welcome with me, a little somebody I like to know is called Samuel Askew.
What's up, Sam? Welcome back.
Good to be here, boys.
Sam, let's just go right into it for a little bit here. Tell me a little bit about your Chargers. What's going on?
That was a rough night. I would say overall, good to see you guys. I would say overall, since week 1, my life in football has been pretty distraught. That's a good word to use because my fantasy team is awful and my Chargers are struggling big time. But they're 4-3, so they're tied for first place in the division. It's just like last night, and if you weren't busy trick-or-treating out there, you might have noticed. It was one of these things where all you have to do is snap the ball and you win a game. If you can do that, the game's over. I was telling these guys earlier, it was almost like you might as well go in the locker room thinking you won the game, and then someone comes in 5 minutes later and tells you, oh, just kidding, you guys actually just lost. That's what it felt like last night. And that was a bummer. That one hurt. But you know what? Fantasy team.
First win. Why get your second one this week? You get to go against this guy. You guys' matchup is...
Yeah, not having Calvin Johnson or Cam Newton this week, my two best players, that's definitely going to hurt. I've been looking at this matchup for a little while and being like, wow, Sam could get another win this time. So I think you have a chance at the playoffs if you can go on a nice run.
I have a lot to say. I could go off a lot about fantasy. I've been quiet all year long because I didn't have any voice to speak because I was awful. So when you don't win games, you shouldn't even be allowed to talk about it. But I finally won a game, and I scored over 100 points doing it. It wasn't like I played Cody and beat him 40 to 39. I legitimately won a game this week. So I feel like I can say some of those things. But I am excited about it. And I just do need to say, I'm not trying to cry here, but I had a string of bad luck there at the beginning of the season, including Peyton Manning getting hurt, which took Austin Collie and Dallas Clark basically complete out of my lineup, and then Jamal Charles getting hurt, which then was my number 2 overall pick in the entire draft, my first round pick, doing that. And things just kind of went downhill from there. And then Sam Bradford was kind of he might be one of the biggest busts of the fantasy football season. So that's all for now.
Yeah, we'll see if you can turn it around. You like to make moves as much as I do, and picking people up and trading and everything else.
I think I've picked up 3 or 4 people in the last week and dropped them already since, and then they never were on my team for a Sunday. I picked them up and dropped 2 days later. But I mean, when you're as bad as I am, you just get crazy out there a little bit. And I do think I'm going to beat Levi this week. I'm just going to put that out there to everybody right now.
I would agree.
I like it. My team is not as strong this week as it was last week because of bias, but his team is not very good this week either. In fact, his team is so bad, I think they're going to score about as many points as my NBA fantasy basketball team does this week. Always 0 for them.
Which is also about as much as the teams that start players on a bye.
Yeah.
One quick rule about fantasy football. Players on byes do not score a lot of points. Just going to throw it out there.
That's it.
They're not big scores. If they have an O next to their name, that means out, as in not playing. Alright? They're not just going to be like,
outstanding.
Oh man, outstanding. Yeah. No, they're actually not playing. So Andrew, just to throw that out there, you actually would have beat me by 13 this week if you just would have put in a kicker that was not on a bye, that you had, it was on your favorite team, so why didn't you put him in there? And then also start a running back that is playing as opposed to one that has.
Come on, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Is that what they say on ESPN? Come on, man. All you got to do is put your kicker in and you would have beat him. That's lame sauce, man.
I'll take it, though.
I'm trying so hard to get a win all season long, and you had one sitting there. All you do is just make sure your people were on your team. Come on.
And that also brings up
high school.
That was a high school.
High school.
Right there.
Come on, grow up. It's time to be a big boy, Andrew. And I'm mad at you because the Chiefs won, and you're all like, the Chiefs won, so whatever.
He's still going on the Chiefs.
He's still
thing. He's not over it yet. He's not over yet.
Yeah, it's rough.
Just to jump on that a little bit, what's up with Cody? I honestly don't think, I'm pretty sure about this, number one, he probably doesn't watch these either, but I don't think he's actually looked at his fantasy lineup since he drafted his team.
Well, I would say this. We all know Levi's pretty hardcore about this. I mean, he's probably on, would you say you go on the fantasy ball page every day?
Yeah, as long as I have internet access.
Right.
Yes.
And we both definitely, I think from most of all you played last year, that Ryan and I like to talk some fantasy, and we stay on top of it. So you understand that we're pretty proud of the legacy of the UW Fantasy Football League, and we don't like it when people come in and make a mockery of it right now. And so I don't think he has looked at his team because there's a guy in his roster, Rashard Jennings, that has been out for the whole season since the draft. and he's still on his team, so he's carrying a player who doesn't even play, and he's just not changing his lineup one time. So Cody, love you, man, but I'm going to call you by your first name now. James, you need to change your lineup this week if you really want to make sure that you stay in the circle of trust in UW. Right now, it's starting to get broken a little bit. I'm not really happy about it. So go in. Don't play people with buys anymore. We built this thing from 2006 to now, and we're proud of it. Compete like you want to win one time, James Smith. Don't put your status if you're not first or last, because you're last right now. Because you're not first right now anymore. So change your lineup, and let's not let this happen again. And he's probably not going to watch this. So if you're a friend of James Cody Smith, you call him and tell him to watch this, and then we'll be done with that.
I actually have a list like run down here that says if you are from Liberty University and you love anybody that's right here, you need to go beat Cody for all of us.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
An actual beating.
And it's ridiculous because he has probably one of the best teams.
That's what probably drives me the most nuts, is that he has all these great players, and he doesn't.
He can win this thing, which is a big deal to a lot of us. And he's like, whatever. He's like, it's just like scoffing.
Pretty much, yeah. Just doing a whole lot of that. Going on to the people that are actually playing really well. Mike is just tearing it up right now. He got lucky this week, but I mean, what, 4 in a row now for him?
So I like Mike's pretty impressive. I like Mike's team.
Yeah, I mean, Adrian Peterson had a great game. Didn't get a ton of rushing yards, but got a bunch of receiving, got a couple touchdowns, and so he's doing well. And yeah, Mike's team is looking a lot better.
Must be nice to have your #1 pick overall playing for you.
I'm
so sorry. I'm so bitter right now.
Oh, man.
No, Mike's good. Shout out San Diego. I'm all proud of him. Charger fan too. So I always like Mike doing well. Good for him.
Exact opposite. Cape Brownies. Kevin, I am so happy that you are on a 5-game losing streak. You have no idea how much this makes me happy. Because I think your last one was probably against me. Was it? Yeah, it was against me when you went 3-0 and you were talking about, lucky this, lucky that. Well, apparently that luck is
not
dried up.
Not good.
A little bit. You said he's averaging what, like 60-something, 70 points maybe?
Yeah, he's averaging just over 70 points a week.
Wow,
just
no. For me, it's 70 points every week.
So, and that included a 30-point week, or a 30-something point week against me, I guess it was a week ago. And that's when he had all his players playing, where McFadden got hurt early on, and so the guys just did terrible. But unlike Cody, he scored 30 this week without half of his team.
His team's like Star Trek convention. Everybody gets all dressed up for the game, and then nobody scores. That's what's going on.
All right.
Is that appropriate?
We'll call it appropriate for now. Moving on. What is up with Chris Johnson? Why does he stink so incredibly? He might lose his starting spot to Javon Ringer.
Yeah, it's funny. You go from a guy that was, the best fantasy football player for about 2 years there, and you think that trade was unfair, but it's coming out and worked out okay right now. He's awful. He's just not even. He has nothing.
The line's blocking differently, I guess. It's just he had to hold out, and now he's getting paid, and so who knows why. But
the joy of fantasy football. You guys got to be smart out there. It's not always about the big names. Go get people. And watch out for those sleepers, especially now. So many backup running backs out there. You never know who's going to have a big week.
Yeah, you never really know. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that could put up numbers. Jackie Battle did pretty decent for you last night.
Interesting story on that. I'm sorry. I don't know how long these things have been going this year. I've been so awful, as most of it's been well chronicled, that this week I had Jonathan Stewart in my starting lineup instead of Jackie Battle, and then on Saturday I decided, well, my logic has not been working well this year, so I employed the fantasy football knowledge, not of Matthew Berry from ESPN or any of these guys, not Chris Harris, but of Noah Askew. And I said, Noah, which name's better, Jackie or Jonathan? And he goes, Jackie's way better than me. So I started Jackie Battle. He scored 13 points, and Jonathan Stewart scored 4. So I'm going back to the well this week and get some more knowledge from Noah. You know what he told me last night? This is another long story. But basically, we were at a friend's house watching the game, and I woke him up, and I said, she said, what's up? I said, Chargers lost. And he goes, maybe next week. That's what he said. That was pretty good. I said, yeah, they dropped the ball at the end. And he goes, oh, well, maybe next week if they put their hands like this. He goes, maybe if they put their hands like this, they'll catch it next time. I was like, yeah, I'll pass that on to him. Thanks, Noah. He's like, I can't sleep.
Give Norv a call.
Yeah, I'll give him.
Let him know. Have you guys hold the hands like this?
He's really got some good knowledge there.
Yeah, I can see him being a football player. Okay, now just to kind of wrap it up a little bit, we've been a little long here. Anything that you would say coming up this next week, matchups wise? Who do you think's got an easy way of it? Mike's Peterson's out for on a bye, so whoever's playing him, I like their chances. But I mean, we already talked about your guys' game being pretty your weak sauce.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of, I mean, at this point, there's going to be a battle like last year. I think probably 4 teams. I don't think I really have a chance. I have an outside chance. I'd have to win out, I think, to make the playoffs. But I think the other teams ahead of me, I think there's probably 4 or 5 that are going to fight for that last spot. You got to really be careful watching. I mean, there's so many injuries right now, like Ryan was saying, and I think that's going to be a big role, is just getting the right people in your lineup at this point. But I think, honestly, that we're pretty top-heavy this year. I like the top couple teams. I think they're the best teams in the league. I don't know if you can mention Seth, but I think his team is right now the most consistent and the best.
Yeah.
And hasn't been devastated by bad trades or anything like that. He's kept it pretty solid. Not anything stupid. And then he's just lucky not to let injuries this year. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I think one of the things I wanted to say to Seth was I wanted to apologize for how bad I say his team is, and he's obviously playing really well. And Seth, to pay you back for that, I'd like to send you a fruit basket. So I'm going to send you a fruit basket in the mail for how well your team's playing. And a lot of people probably will not understand that, but Seth, you know where I'm going with that one. And I love you as much as I rag on you a little bit. Even when I talk to you on Facebook, I still tell you your team's not as good as you think it is. But I think you're pretty sure. I think he's pretty much a lock for 1 or 2.
I do too.
I think Amy's going to drop off just a little bit down to the 3 or 4 area. You'll be jumping up in the 3 or 4 area, but I think it's going to come down to Julia and Seth.
Julia and Seth are the best 2 teams. Everybody else, we should all just change our names to vacuum cleaners because we suck.
Did you make a list of things to say?
I just did like 8 weeks of these things in my head.
Just coming up in your head there.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's too bad for them. 1 and 2 almost never win. So I'm kind of glad that I'm going to be like in the 7 or 8 spot. I can sneak in the playoffs. I have a better chance of winning this year. So.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching the outside. And it's kind of like a rivalry week, you know. Like, if I don't make the playoffs or win, that's fine. As long as I beat Levi, that'll be okay. So anyway, you should... I should change your team name to my mom's maiden names. I'm going to take you to school this week.
I don't think he's ever going to stop unless we end this podcast. So definitely get out there, change your lineups, make sure you get the right people in there, have a little bit of fun. Cody, once again, please do something. Get on there and check it or something.
I got 6 running backs. I'll give any of them up. So I need a wide receiver. Just throwing it out there.
I have a full team that I'll give up. So.
And I need running backs. So.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great.
Guys.
All right. Adios.
See you guys.